Peter, tell us first, the president, he's getting a lifeline from Vladimir Putin here.
A very unlikely source. Who would have thought it would be the Russians of all trying to defuse this crisis? But their plan to get Syria to surrender its chemical weapons to international control, ultimately destroyed, that has shifted the debate as the president gets ready for his national address. And it could give the president an escape route from a potentially humbling rejection from Congress. The question is this Russian plan for real? Now, in his 6 network television interviews on Monday, the president said the U.S. welcomes the initiative but will remain skeptical.
I think that if we can come up with a mechanism to get these under control, verify and enforce that they are not being used, then we should do everything we can to pursue that. But that's not going to happen if Assad thinks that he can lie his way through this, and eventually the world forgets the images of those children who were gassed.
Now, the French say they will try and nail down this offer by presenting it to the UN Security Council for approval. That will put the Russians on the spot, as they have rejected every Syrian resolution so far at the UN. For now, the address to the nation still a go, and the president bet he's also going to make his case up on Capitol Hill to keep the pressure on Syria, set to meet behind closed doors today separately with both Senate Democrats and Senate Republicans at their weekly lunches.
Peter, he's got his work cut out for him in Congress. What is he going to have to do?
He absolutely has his work cut out for him in Congress. Our latest Bloomberg tally of votes shows he would likely lose the vote in the House if it was held today. 218 House lawmakers either firm no's or leaning no against the use of military force. It's going to take 217 votes to win this resolution, either approve it or reject the use of force in Syria. The outlook isn't all that great in the Senate as well. Majority Leader Harry Reid yesterday delaying consideration of the Syria resolution to give the administration more time to get votes. In his interviews last night, the president acknowledged he faces a skeptical Congress and public.
There's a reason why I slowed this thing down to allow for a congressional debate. Part of it was because, given that the threat was not direct and imminent to the United States, despite me believing I have the authority to take action, I thought it was best for us to actually have this debate, because we've gone through a lot of war and people are frankly suspicious.
And again, the president set to address the nation tonight, Betty, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Be interesting to see how he talks about this Russian proposal, yet at the same time still keeps the pressure on Congress to give him this authority.
And Peter, we heard from the Syrian president over the weekend when he talked with Charlie Rose. What is the message now from Syria?
Well, Syria's foreign minister in Russia welcoming the proposal yesterday when it first surfaced, did not offer many specifics. And as you said in his interview with Charlie Rose this weekend, the Syrian President Bashar Assad talked about the possibility of Syria getting rid of its chemical weapons.
We are against any WMD, any weapons of mass destruction, whether chemical or nuclear. And
so you're against the use of chemical warfare?
Yeah, it's not only me. As a state, as a government, in 2001, we proposed to the United Nations proposal to empty or to get rid of every WMD in the Middle East, and the United States stood against that proposal.
And the United States highly skeptical of that original offer from the Syrians, and again skeptical, Betty, about whether or not this indeed is a diplomatic solution to this crisis.